This is the CTB covering the basics video for ToK Essay 4, Hypothesis and Speculation. If you already understand what is meant by terms like hypothesis and speculation, then skip this video and watch the main video for this title, which is linked above. Welcome to ToK Today, I'm Daniel. I'm going to briefly talk about some of the possible ways to understand the concepts of hypothesis and speculation in ToK Essay number 4, November 24. Now, if you're writing this essay and you want detailed, structured help to get high score, then be sure to pick up the ToK Today essay guidance notes from the ToK Today website. Link in the video description. In this video, I'm just covering the basics for this essay title. I'm not going to be explaining an answer to the questions and so on and so on. That's in the main video, which I'll link above. This video is just about the two key terms, hypothesis and speculation. And it assumes that you have very little understanding of what those two terms actually mean. So let's start with the more straightforward of the two, and that's the term hypothesis. In the natural and human sciences, the concept of hypothesis is fairly clearly defined by the scientific method. This scientific method is the set of stages that scientists and natural scientists use to produce scientific knowledge. In the scientific method, we see that hypothesis is formed after a period of observation and question forming. As such, we know that a hypothesis is formed from the questions that a scientist has formulated from observations that they've made. So we can assume that a hypothesis in the human and natural sciences is based in real-world experiences or observable phenomena. Secondly, because the hypothesis in the sciences is used for experimental testing, then we can assume that it will be testable. As such, it should have measurable variables, one of which can be manipulated. Now, we can use the definition of hypothesis from the human and natural sciences to inform our ideas of what a hypothesis might be in the other areas of knowledge. For example, in AoK history and AoK maths, the phenomena being studied may not be available for direct observation, but through secondary sources or secondary modelling, the knowledge producer should still be able to develop questions about the phenomena from which a hypothesis could be formed. The process for testing a hypothesis in AoK history and maths is very similar to the sciences in many ways, maybe without the direct manipulation of independent variables in many cases. Now, moving on to AoK the arts. A hypothesis in the arts is maybe more challenging to define, but the nice thing is that you have the opportunity to define a hypothesis as you wish in the arts. You can develop your own definition so that it works for your knowledge arguments. Now, a few things to consider in the arts could be whether the hypothesis has to be based on observable phenomena or whether it could be based on imagined or intuited phenomena. Secondly, we could consider how a hypothesis in the arts might function. Is it a tool for the knowledge producer to test the objectivity of a proposition like it is in the natural and human sciences? Or is it maybe a trigger for inspiration, exploration and creativity for the artist? Or is it an intuitive understanding that the artist has of their materials or tools or audience? We could go on developing various definitions of hypotheses in the arts. And we do look at some of these different definitions in the ToK Today essay guidance notes. But for this title, let's leave that here for now. Before we move on to look at ways of understanding the terms speculation in essay number 4, please could I ask you to do me a little favour? And that would be, could you please like this video and subscribe to the channel? Now, it's free for you to do, but it helps me out enormously. It's like getting an additional free gift when you go to buy your friend's birthday present. Both you and your friend benefit. So, you know you like benefits. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you. Okay, let's talk about ways to understand the term speculation. As with all concepts in ToK, a dictionary definition will not be sufficient for you to produce a good essay. However, a dictionary definition might be a good place to start, and from there you can build out a more ToK specific definition. And most of the dictionaries that I've looked at define speculation along the lines of contemplation or consideration of the characteristics of a subject. One dictionary that I looked at gave a purely financial definition of speculation. So I'm just going to leave that definition aside, but you can look at it that way if you want. Let's start from the idea that speculation is something to do with contemplation or consideration of something else. Now, we've got to think about how that contemplation or consideration might be different to the ways in which we've defined hypothesis, and particularly the AOK-specific ways in which we've defined hypothesis. So, in the human and natural sciences, we've said that a hypothesis is a testable statement with measurable variables arising from questions that have been formulated from observations made by the knowledge observer of the real world. And we might want to mix the idea of evidence in that. So speculation, on the other hand, could be considerations or predictions that are not clearly testable, do not comprise of measurable and manipulable, I can't say that word, manipulable variables, and are not based on questions arising from the real world. So, in the human and natural sciences, speculation does not have the same characteristics as a hypothesis in the human and natural sciences. And the definitions for the speculation in AOK, maths, history and the arts could be developed in the same way. And we do a lot of that in detail in the ToK Today essay guidance notes. And if you want more help with this essay, you can pick those notes up from the link in the video description. Now, of course, essay prompt 4 doesn't ask you what the difference is between hypothesis and speculation. It actually asks you whether the difference is significant. And that's what I'll be looking at in a lot more detail in the main video for essay 4, linked above. Click there if you want to find out more. So thank you very much for watching. Tell your friends about ToK Today. We've got resources for all of the essay titles in this season, plus lots of resources for the prompts for the exhibition. Spread the good ToK word. Stay ToKtastic. Bye.